Okay, I pray from here in Jesus' name, in the mighty name of Jesus. Our Heavenly Father, we thank you, we worship you for another opportunity to gather online to share our knowledge. But I pray, oh God, you give us insight on how to invest wisely, that at the end of the day, we'll all smile to the banks in Jesus' name. But I also pray that you take absolute control of our discussion. All the contributors that we will discuss here today, but I pray insight and wisdom reveal to us all in the name of Jesus. That at the end of this meeting, Lord, we'll have cause to bless your holy name. In Jesus' name, we pray. Amen. Praise the Lord. Yeah. Okay. Let a quick one. Before I start, I want to also appreciate those that even when we have not launched the Invest 2022, many people are already paying for their seats, or they're not taking advantage of the 25,000 people in the house are paying. I want to encourage you, if you have not paid, do so, because I know that you will have to smile at the end of the day. We'll just take a review of stocks that were given at the last Invest 2021 that was held in December 4th, 2020. My people, I'll tell you that out of the 10 stock, we call it a 10 golden stock for 2020. Only one stock is in negative, and that stock is just only GTB. As at yesterday, I've lost 16.16. Every other one I'm positive. Even some stock give us 175 return, some 75.44. The least stock there gave us around 8%. That is the least. Every other one was above 20% for 4th of December 2020 on Thursday. It tells you that those stocks are really performed well, and I want you to take advantage of them, especially those that are thinking long term. And we know in buy and sell signal, we have for weekly traders 6 months and 1 year. I will tell you, those that have put their position, they are already money. The average return of that portfolio as at Thursday is 49.19. It's almost 50%, which also promises every long-term investor that if you are in our buy and sell signal, follow us, the minimum you can make in a year, if you are holding stock, is that 50-60%, which we have achieved even before the date to complete it there is that 1 year. It tells you that we need to take advantage of information we are sharing. Yes, we are not the best, we are not the worst in the world, but I believe that in Invest Data, all our prediction, despite the market oscillation, I will tell you 80-85% of our prediction are accurate. I won't tell you that we'll give you 100%. No, anybody that promises you that you don't lose this market for 100%, what he or she is telling you, the person is telling you a lie. Nobody has 100% control of the market. Even if you are sharing, the market can change it. But for you to be able to make 80% or 12%, it's still that you are consistent. And I know that if you have not taken position, try and register for the coming Invest 2020. And this time we'll have facilitators from nearly all the field. We're talking of bond, we're talking of commodity, talking of the new exchange, the FDQ, all the exchange in Nigeria, trying to bring them together, how you can take advantage of them to make money, especially now that we are entering the main season. Between November and April is the main season that a good investor should position. Despite we are entering pre-election year, you know, to position between now and April, you can make money and also go back your profit and watch the election unfold into the year 2023. On that note, we're going to start on our normal, and also those that also are contributed for the detail of the orphanage, the old people who also appreciate you, and also that more should do that, so that at the end of the year we'll give you, the account, the details we have paid, and what we are doing. So we're going to share it in this house also, because it's not only a better that it's a joint effort now. We need to put smiles in other people's face. So that means if you have not contributed, you can go ahead, what in your mind you are free to send for those there for that purpose. Yeah. Okay, quick one. As usual, we always start with the weekly review, and that weekly review will start with daily before we now enter weekly, and weekly give you, a broader view of what is happening. Daily, because the daily chart, it gives you front information, because we are not doing live. If you are doing live market, 5 minutes, 10 minutes chart give you the direction of what the market will be for the day. Then if you are doing a daily chart, it will give you what the market will be like in a week. That is why these short time frames, they play different roles, but they give you prompt action, they give you insight, they give you kind of a trigger that what you should do. That is why as a good investor, I always say that you know how to marry your fundamental and technical analysis. We have seen the fundamentals playing out during the period, the week under review. We saw the market oscillating, in the week. We had a good, two strong, days of upsurge. Then we saw what happened on Monday and Tuesday because of demand for tech, tech stock, especially the giant, giant in Nigeria, MTN and Airtel. It moved the market up, and that is what I said the previous week, that all these high caps have not moved. And when they start moving, the market might even close higher above. But it's only few stocks that move that market to that level. That means, as an investor, once you are seeing the positive trend in the market, as these high stocks are moving, they're going to drag some stock up. Which are those stocks they're going to drag up? That is what a good investor should also be looking at, because those high caps are still going to move. Don't forget that the what's it called? Dangote is set also to do buyback, and you don't buy buyback this month, so not always December that you see Dangote buyback. No, it does tell you that you should also start preparing that we're going to see more of this movement from the high caps. We are not seeing the movement in enforcement. There's you saw how Waco moved or profit taking brought that stock down. But I still tell you that what you saw in terms of payout for their interim dividend is likely also to repeat itself even more in the full year, because they are doing optimization in Waco, and that means they are still on money because they are selling here and there. The money is there for them. For that, they are sharing part of it to investors. If you look at the reason they said from the previous, if I remember the term they used for that dividend they paid, that means they are sitting on money, and that may likely also be shared more in their coming year. If you are that kind of stock, you don't need to panic. Rather, you take advantage of any pullback you see in such stock. That is how to play it very intelligently. That is what you should do at this point. If you look at the daily chart here, because the market is at the point of either what I call it a breakout or a fake out. But actually, market has moved from accumulation stage to a markup stage. That markup stage, after market has started at this point, you can see it here. Market has started at this point. Before, even when it was not trading below the shorter moving average, which is a 7 day simple moving average. The market was not trading before there was a breakout, and this breakout take the market to even to beat the last January 2021 peak. It crossed the breakover and it continued before it pulled back. But here I want to draw a trend line. Then when this trend line, where it stops or where it crosses, like it gives you an insight what is happening. Because at the top you are seeing like 2 days or 3 days of red. But at the first and the second day was what we call distribution stage in technical analysis. At that stage, we are seeing what profit taking. But what happened on Monday, I'll tell you that was confirmed a change of trend. Because yes, you can see that the volume at the market pullback was high. It doesn't mean that the market has turned bad, no. But as a technician, when you see such a strong pullback with a high volume, you watch very carefully. That means the market has confirmed, we're entering now a decline stage. That is what we call price correction in the equity market. As this price is correcting, they are creating opportunity for you to enter at a good price. That means you're looking at a strong support level of those stocks that move the market up, or those that are pulling back, to know exactly where you can jump into your new position. That is how to invest. What happened in the market does not set any kind of panic or say no, because I will tell you, between now and end of the year, we expect oscillation in the market. Market to go for profit-taking activities. But don't forget that we'll have other series of events to happen between now and end of the year. Yes, we're going to expect the last MPC meeting in this month of November. At the same time, we're expecting that the Santa Claus rally will come before the Christmas season period. The Christmas period from 24 to 26. There must also go occur either Santa Claus rally will come early or before. But don't forget that this also is the month that ends with a quarter year end. And I've said this severally, if you are also following that, at the end of the year, many companies listed on the exchange who want to close higher, they open the year. That is why if you still towards 31st of every year end, go and check many stocks, they hit new high. After that, they start coming down. Why? They want to close higher than what they opened the year of that current financial year. This current financial year started in January 1st and going to end December 31st. And if the company's stock is around 2 naira in January 1st, most of them will not like their stock to close around 190 kobo for the 31st of December. That means they will find way to make sure the price go up. That is for the quoted companies. And if you look at the annual report that you see every year, Go and check it. They quote the price they open and the price, it closed the year. And such companies will not like to say that it opened at 3 naira, it closed at 1 naira. No, they want to keep that, so that it's part of measuring the company performance or the management performance for the year. And don't forget that also most fund managers, it also that
very well.
Most fund managers also, they want to make sure that they end the quarter positive, so that they can end their higher commission. That is why we call it window dressing. Say quarterly window dressing or yearly window dressing, because at that period they want price to close higher, so that what will come to the company will also be higher as for managing their client portfolio. You see, these are the results we're expecting. And don't forget also the January effect that comes in Nigeria. I will tell you, in the last 5 years, our January has been up for great 3 years, and other 2 years that remain in that 5 years, it was down. And now you ask yourself, is it going to repeat itself for the 1st January 2022? And the possibility for me is high, and we are seeing the trend already. The sign already is possible. And for you as an investor, these are that means what you are seeing up and down now at this market as well. Should not panic, you have to rather to seek an opportunity to position ahead of this expectation. And these are pattern and seasonalities that will repeat itself every year. And when it comes, you take advantage of it. That is how to invest. If you are doing that, once we are seeing the market, you'll be smiling that most stock that has value, they are shedding weight, enough position in them. And when they start going up, especially those dividend paying stock, now that we have seen all the Q3, and most of the Q3 number we have seen so far, I said it anywhere, even on the air, that most of them are better than the full year we saw in 2020. What does that tells you? It tells you that most of these companies that have a better number, the possibility that they will grow their payout, which is their dividend, is high. And if a company kind of increases dividend payout, what does that means to you? What does that do to the price? It will kind of impact the price positively. The price will go up, especially if there is good liquidity in the system. And I'll tell you, I'm likely to see good liquidity in the system before the end of the year. The last treasury bill option that was done, you can see that the long curve return or rate has dropped from almost 6.99 to around 6.5, about almost 4.8 points or 9 has I also declined. For me, you should see that the more it goes down, between now and end of the year, the more we'll see fund. Because if you want to invest for even the 90 days, the 90 days treasury bill as an investor, even as a portfolio manager, you are expecting to get 2.5. And in equity, if you are taking only for dividend position, you're going to get most of them. The dividend yield for most of the company on the market now is above 6% on average for our own market as we speak now. That means it's better, and it's less than 90 days. Now we're already in November. If you want to position between February, and most of the companies will launch in February, we have made that dividend yield. I see that with that, we expect funds to start leaving most of that position to come to equity, because yes, also inflation in our economy, yes, it has declined for 6 months according to statistics. But I'm still telling you that if you want to hedge against it, because at the same point, something is still higher than most of the returns or the yields in other investment window. I see that this will be a trigger for this end of the year season. We might see a lot of funds finding their way to equity market. Then after equity market, after the season, they might disappear. But I tell you, these are the things that we expect that it will make this market, this last quarter of the year, more attractive for investors. It does mean that you, as an investor, just position right, well in the right stock, like what people to buy right and also sell right. Why would you buy right? You buy it at a good price. That's why you are buying right. And what do you use? Use your support and resistance level. That means those that have gotten the invest data, technical tools, you have taken advantage of that. If you are studying or you are listening to them, and those that also following us in different platforms, that this is the time to take that kind of material to know exactly when to buy support. You are using support and resistance level, which we are taking care in that video, how to use that support and level. And also, if you have our invest data, invest in any season, all these are well explained how to use them. For me, this is the time to kind of apply those things you are studying into taking your investment decision. Because one thing in investment decision, that if you want to remain at the top, you must have education every day. That education is necessary. Anybody that is something as an investor, a trader, has investment education. It go for it every time, no matter what it costs him, because they want to get new idea, new information, new opportunity to take advantage. Also, you must have what? You must be disciplined. Once you are disciplined, you are good to go. And you must have a set goal, which I know everybody here have done that, because that's what we use to repeat every day. Have a set goal. It is that set goal you have that also kind of give you kind of strategy to achieve that goal. and also the kind of stocks that you use to achieve that goal. That means if you have all these at a fingertip, you are good to go. And always look at the market direction. I don't fail to tell you this. Always the market, because if market is going down, 50% of that trend will affect stock. If it's going up, 50% of that trend will also affect individual stock up. That means you need to look market direction at any time. Is there any kind of divergent momentum? Yes, we saw the divergent momentum when there was a breakout here. The divergent momentum, if you look at the volume here, that the volumes were up here. It tells that something has happened, and that owner was sustained before the profit taking. But as I want to draw now a line up here, to tell you where the line stops and where it was, because it has broken down the uptrend line, it says that the trend has changed. That means we have seen a decline. But if it's still kind of on a distribution stage, kind of side trending. Now I want to draw that line now before I go further, so that you get the whole gist as we are discussing. Okay, here you can see this trend here now. To draw this line up, to connect to this one here, this is an uptrend. Yeah, you can see it touches here, it touches another one, even like it connect with this one. This trend there here is what we are looking at. Look at where it touches and up. So you can see that this yesterday on Friday, pullback. You see, it has crossed down this line. It tells you that the market has changed trend, and that confirms a kind of a decline stage. A decline stage does not mean that you should run away from the stock. We're telling you that yes, there's an opportunity for you to make money in this stock, but rather you just have to wait for a good price to enter. Because during the time of distribution, that 2 days was so profit taking. If you have exited, then now that I pull back, we are watching to see a strong support level for these stocks that are pulled back. But what we're using now is what we call NGS or index action. Individual stocks also that have represented almost the same pattern. This is how to trade them. You trade them until they come down before you jump in to a strong support level. You take advantage of them. Like some of the stocks we're going to share for position taking at the end of this class. I've just marked it down so that you can start buying them now that you see a pullback in those stocks, because the future holds price for them. Terms of dividend payout, because the numbers we saw in their Q2 number are giving us insight, and all the seasonality we're expecting, because funds are likely to come back to this market gradually. On a weekly chart, you see that money flow index is still strong, but because of profit taking and a pullback we saw this last three days, there's kind of an downtrend in terms of money flow on a daily chart. But weekly is still strong. It tells that the market is still very, very strong for every one of us to still watch and take advantage of whatever we want to do in the market now, than even to say we are complaining. No, take the time to jump into good stock and to see a strong support level and to take advantage of what we are learning here to take that decision. This for a daily chart. And I want to quickly go to a weekly chart so that you can see broader picture of how the market is also doing. Just give me some minutes. Let's go to other. This is where I want to discuss the weekly chart. But before I go to that weekly chart, I want to show you something that is very important. I mentioned about momentum divergence. If you look at this, your MACD here, let me make it bold so that you can see. You can see this MACD here. You see, when the market broke out that strong support level, resistance level, I mean, there was a divergence here, positive divergence, a bullish one. You see that up here, and you saw that these bars here also turned up. They were going down before, see, it turned up and was, but now there's already a divergence for these 3 days on a daily chart. You can see because of what the sell-off or the profit taking we just saw during the week. You can see it tells you that as investor or trader, there's a divergence already on a daily chart, which we're going to look if the weekly is in the same direction. If not, it tells you that that's why the missed trend was saw during the week. The market is still strong. That weekly chart will give you more insight. That's why, as a trader investor, this multiple time frame is good for you to look. Or as I said earlier, those that are trading on a live market, 5 minutes, 1 hour chart will give you an insight what will happen for that day in the market. If you are, if you are designing enough to see the chart and the movement. Then also for a week or a month, you also take insight of what will happen. They will tell you what would like to happen for a week. Then we will give us what will happen in a month. Then you now see this multiple time frame technically. You take combined decision, looking at them, It will not tell you where the market is and where the market is going. I just show you this divergent on what on the momentum so that you have an idea how it looks like. Coming back here, you see the period that the market was in uptrend. You saw the green here, but the 3 days that the market was in downtrend. You saw that the volume, but the good thing that the volume for the last trading day that confirmed a downtrend or what we call a decline phase in technical analysis, because that the volume for this Friday was higher than the last 2 volume that you see. You can see that the bar here is longer. It tells that it was really a confirmed pullback, and this pullback does not send any panic at all anywhere in the market. Or rather, it gives you an answer that yes, go your cash position now that this is the opportunity for you to dive into the market, because I tell you that you don't catch a falling knife. You have seen a pullback now. All you don't need is just wait to see where it will land. Once it lands at that good support level and it stays there, didn't break down there, and you see another volume there that tell you that it's right to turn up, to jump in, to go to new position. That is how to to trade with the technical indicators and using the market there also momentum and others to combine. Yes, quick one. We want to look at the market on a weekly chart. You can see that on a weekly chart, looking at the divergence, you can see that it's still very, very positive, very, very strong. The market is still trending up. You can see that the divergence, positive divergence there, when the red line cross the blue one, and this is called a signal line in MACD, and that cross it, and you see it has been an uptrend. Look at this histogram here. You can see that it's going up. Say that the market is strong. The momentum in the market on a weekly chart is very, very strong. It has not given any sign of weakness. But you can see that while daily chart has given you sign, but market is like, no, this market is too strong. Don't panic. Just hold on your position and watch. But I always tell you that if you are make profit in any of your position, you don't need to stay in the market for too long. Once you make profit, quickly just exit your position, especially if you have made your target than waiting for too long. You can see what MACD is telling us on the weekly chart. We also want to look at the volume. I see the volume here. The volume for last week that market pulled back, the previous week, sorry, market pulled back because it was a red one when the market lost marginally before gaining almost 2.93 for this week on the strength of MTN and the rallying because of what the market news about the losses were given to them. Despite the action of most of them might not even be favorable to the market, but because of the news of payment service, license they were given back to a bank, then that really triggered positioning. And not only that, all that climate of the world, we have seen that these companies that are into payment through all these telecoms, they are doing well, and their earnings have been strong. They were spread as such also happen. That is why anybody that is taking position in MTN or Airtel should not panic, even though when they pull back, rather take advantage when they pull back to kind of fight to break down. But I don't pitch a breakdown, but I see that this company, they have potential. Even when they break down, it's for your own good. And when they start going up again, you also be smiling to the bank. The chart pattern of this stock of quickly is still very bullish one. You can see that the source that we'll be talking is still there. It has not changed. It tells you that the market is very, very strong at this point. For me, all we don't need to is just for investors to hold on their position and take advantage of what is happening in the market to position right. Once that is done, we're also good to go. Just exercise patience in any of your position because the trend are still positive on the weekly chart. The quick one, we want to look at the money flow index. It's very, very key because I told you earlier that it gives you an insight if one is leaving the market, and when one is leaving the market, it tells you that you need to be very careful. But if one is still entering the market, it tells you that you need to also wait your position. And before I do that, I want to show you another indicator I use most often. This is called ADS. ADS tells you that the strength behind every trend. And when you see that ADS is above 20 anywhere, say that there's strong, that strength is strong. But when it's above 30, you need to consider its strength is very, very strong. And when you see that above 50, you know that you don't need to panic. That means that strength is so. That's why when you draw your 20 days moving average, 3 days moving average, and even 200, and the trend is above them, you know that you are in the right stock that you need to hold on. That means that positive momentum you have. But if it's also coming down, you are seeing all those high ADS with that momentum to go down is high. But now we are seeing that the momentum is for a positive one because on a weekly chart, you see that it's still going up. On that note, you don't need to just panic in your decision. What I really want to show you is the money flow index, which I just You can see that your money flow index. This is your money flow index. Well, and it's above what? Above 70, 77. It's a very strong one above 70. Now it tells you that money flow in the market on a weekly chart is very strong. And that means that you, as an investor, going to buy. Then what you do not check the money flow of individual stock to see if they are above 50. Then above 50 is okay, but above 70, that funds is still in that stock. And when there's fund in the stock, the profit of the stock going down is very slim. But when fund is leaving a stock, it's a sign that either by profit taking, or there's bad news, or there's what sales sentiment in that stock. That means you need to know how to marry all this at any time when you are in the market. Once you see, that is why those that are getting the technical analysis tools, it's not for you to just say you have it. It's for you to just please go through it so that you can take informed decision that will impact your portfolio positively. Just go through it, listen to it. Where you need to ask questions, very few numbers are there. Call us and ask questions. Because all this is saying that once you know it, as we come to this class, when we are discussing, you'll be happy. It brightens your what you want to do, because it's too much, it's confirming what you have seen, and that also make you more happy that you are in the right place. Let's also try and use those materials. Once you are using them, you can see that it's going to help us in taking our information. For me, you can see that the market on a weekly basis is very okay. Let's take the money flow on a daily chart. You can see where it is now. The daily price has gone even above 70 as at on Tuesday. On Tuesday, but Wednesday, Thursday, you can see that it has come down. Still like where it make a U-turn up, then back again. The point that it will turn up on a daily chart is there, depending on market sentiment and the market forces are from next week. Which I know that the more we are coming closer to the end of the year, the more we are seeing a buying opportunity for those that are positioning for the end of the year. That will also keep the market in this mode of up and down movement. And when there's positive investor vibe, you don't need to panic. It tells you that investors are still in the market. And that is why you see the buy volume for this week is still interesting. It's above 50. We said around there. Let me quickly show you the buy volume for this week. The buy volume for this week is around there. On a daily, okay, this for a daily one. Let me quickly go to a weekly chart. You can see for daily one, because there was a sell-off yesterday, there was more sell-off. Like what I said, but for the weekly, let's look at it. We have 100% sell for the daily as of yesterday, 99% sell and board. This week, we have a 61 buy position and just 39 sell position, which is very, very also nice, very, very in order. All you don't need to just take advantage of this information we are sharing, and you move on with your position. That is how to do investment. That you must know how to effectively combine your fundamental and assessment. Yeah, before we go into question answer, I want to quickly look at the agricultural sector. I want to look at the numbers and the opportunity we are seeing there. If you are a trader or investor, those companies that you are in that sector, what you should do with that is their position now that we are seeing that the market is oscillating. We are coming closer to the end of the year. Yes, I will start with the livestock. Livestock posted a third quarter earning per share revenue of 10.92 billion and a profit after tax of 420.56 million. Earning per share of 14 kobo, book value of 2 naira, 21 kobo, and the PE ratio, which is key, is high, about above 12, 15.16, which is also in order because it's not above 20. And that tells you that for me, if you are in livestock space, I will tell you what have attracted us, and even the technicals and the fundamentals, they are still missed. But what attracted us in that stock are still very much intact. If you are there, don't panic that any pullback you are seeing in livestock, you can take advantage. Because personally, I see entered that stock as at yesterday because I see a pullback. That means if you are in that kind of stock, don't panic. Just hold your position. That is for livestock. Now that a stock that has a book value of 2 naira, 71 kobo, tells you that your margin of safety is very, very low. A stock that is selling for 2 naira or 2 naira start really close to naira. It was on Thursday night, yesterday close to naira. Your margin of safety is very, very high. Now don't forget that the sector where it's operating, apart from security and the strengthening that sector, there you have a lot of potential in that sector because Nigeria to speak now, we are going into agriculture. We need to build ourselves before any other thing. Yeah, that is for livestock. Then we move to Presto. Presto posted 34.24 billion as revenue for the period, and the profit after tax, which one is important to you and I. This profit after tax is what every investor anywhere in the world wants to look at, because after you are taking care of your cost of sales and other operating expenses, and you are paying the government what they need. What matters for the tax? What matters is what we as shareholders share. And for me, I think that for Presto, their PAT is 13.78 billion for third quarter. And their earning per share is 13 naira 8 kobo. And their book value, if I tell you why you laugh, their book value is 2.08 and the P ratio is just 6.2, which is for me, the P ratio I'm giving you that this stock is grossly undervalued. I will also draw attention. Yes, most times when you see book value does not really tell you that this is the valuation of that stock. People are telling you what's doing the shareholders on most of the shareholders might not be off, but as you need to look at where you can see some value for yourself and take advantage of it. Then Okomu for the period, Okomu for third quarter ended at 30th of September, posted a turnover of 31.05 billion and profit after tax of 11.60, and the EPS, is a 12 naira thinkable, while the book value of Okomu is 3 naira. That's it, 3 naira. For the P ratio is 11.68. You can see that Okomu have moved from that 120 to almost 142. You can see that is why you can see that the P ratio is there. But you can look at that of Presco, they're still selling below 90 naira. Times enter 92, come back to close at 89. See the advantage you have there. And also their markdown date is around the corner. You can even take advantage of that 1 naira and still take position ahead of their full year and price appreciation. Because I know that when the big short, those that are going for defense stocks or where to place safe defensive stock, they are coming back to Komu and Presco because of their nature, this surprise movement. Already you are there. That is why you need to have this stock and the position now. That's how to invest for this period. For me, these earnings that we are seeing or we have seen already have given us an insight where we should be and where we should not be. The stock that we should go and the stock that we exit to. That is why the position of portfolio for both for international players, individual investor, portfolio manager to continue to the end of the year, because when they see opportunity, they want to move to that. When you are seeing market oscillating, do not panic. You or rather take advantage of oscillation to know what to do at each time. Yeah. Thank you. If there's any question, you can ask. Want to add to the market review, you are very free to ask. Thank you.
Hello, Ambrose. Thanks for your analysis. I didn't hear you clearly on the Presco issue. Your voice was breaking up. Was more like a scrambled voice. So could you please do a short recap on Presco?
Okay.
Thank you.
For Presco, I said that Presco posted a turnover of 34.24 billion naira for third quarter and a PAT of 13.78 billion. Then the EPS, which is the earning per share for the period of 13.78 and the book value of 2.08. For the notion, the good thing is that the P ratio, which is that tells you how long you're going to stay to recoup your profit, your invested capital, if the earning remains stable. But if the earnings improve, it's shorten your waiting. If it goes down, they also prolong your stay. That's not if the earning remains stable. That's why P ratio is very attractive when it is low. Then they're going to wait longer, shorter period. Even when it is high, don't say that there's potential, but as an investor, the time you marry the two to take investment decision, whether it's high or low, look at some factors together. But for Presco, we are seeing a P ratio of 6.28, which for me is good and attractive. And I said earlier that the markdown date for Presco is around the corner, that you can take advantage of the 1 naira business first, because we're seeing potential that this stock will stay rally above 120 naira any moment from now. For that, you take advantage of this below 90 naira, first 92, come down to 80, 89 to take position in the stock if you are not there. But if you're already there, just put your position and watch the market trend. What is happening in the market, also where you are taking position. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Any question or you want to add to what we are discussing?
Good afternoon, Ambrose.
Yeah, good afternoon, sir.
Yes, sir. Please, I noticed that you always categorize custodian as a defensive stock. Why is this so? Is
custodian or Presco? Which one? Custodian.
Custodian, yes, custodian.
Go ahead.
In the daily, the weekly something is always categorized as a defensive stock, and that's different from the other ones like MTN and all the rest. Okay. So, what qualities are there in custodian?
Okay, in different industry,
Thank you.
In the industry, there are what we call defensive stock in that industry. For example, in the banking sector, I'll tell you the most defensive stock is Stanbic IBTC. Yes, their earnings might be low, and then that the price have not even go below 39. It's a defensive stock. One, because their share issue is very small, and because their share issue is very small, people will always be there at any time to make sure that they are taking advantage of the market in terms of playing defensive. But for Consider and Allies, you don't answer. Consider and Allies is in the other financial sector, and before they have been in insurance before they were classified. But check in the industry where it is. I tell you, the price oscillates between 5 to 7 naira before it breaks out. That means it has stability at 5 naira. That means that to break down that 5 naira, 550 is always hard for stock like custodian. That makes it a defensive stock. Not only that, look at the things that move up. It has not gone down from where it's coming. And the earnings of the company has also been strong to support it. Their interim dividend has not failed. That means that stock on interim dividend and their earnings performance and price pattern has made it one of the defensive stocks. Also, they are acquiring more companies to make more solid earnings to support their price. Now, what they are going into UPDC for a purpose to turn around and take advantage of the low price and make money. They are also in insurance. They are also in pension. They are like a conglomerate that has what is supporting their bottom line. Their earnings are even the last one they released does not too impressive, but a flat number. It didn't decline. It says that company is stable. And that is for fundamental. But if you want to know, so you can watch your tech analysis. They don't oscillate like the way others oscillate.
Hello.
Hello. Hello. Go ahead, sir.
Hello.
Yeah.
Are you
just said.
Okay.
Yes. If you ask what you just said, the first time I entered consider when I don't even know the value at around 2 naira, you can never if you pull back a little, right now it's around 7 naira, something kobo. I'm telling you, consider will never go beyond that again. So if it pulls back, it's an opportunity for people to enter. Once you leave this price again, it will never come back to this price. So it's a defensive stock. Once it pulls back, it's an opportunity for new entrants. So when they leave that price again, it will go back. Just mark it. Thank you very much.
Thank you for adding. Yeah. Okay, sir.
Yeah. Good afternoon, Ambrose. Can you hear me?
Yeah, welcome. Yeah.
Hello. Good afternoon. Can you hear me?
Yes. Go ahead. I hear you, sir. Good afternoon, sir. Yeah.
Yeah. Afternoon. So what's your? I've been seeing a trend on Transcorp. I mean, from the volume charts, I know from the valley, it has not really been going up, but it has been on the top volume chart in the recent weeks. So what do you think about Transcorp?
Yeah, actually, that also at any time. I'm happy that our people here who are coming to recognize the power of volume in equity investment. Once you know the power of volume investment, you will not miss most of the opportunity in the market because volume speaks a lot of things. Volume is the energy, is the fuel that moves stocks prices up. Just like when a plane is moving, there's something that push it up. It is this volume that push prices of stocks up. Now that you are seeing volume in Transcorp, we have said it earlier this comment that it is that volume in Transcorp is good, and also it tells that what is people are position ahead. For liquidity in terms of them paying you kind of good dividend for now is a bit slow because the money this company is making is not physical money that they are seeing in their hand. It's what they are in here and there. I'm telling you, once they start paying them, government start paying them, you will see that stock anything below 3 naira. For those that are thinking long, might be playing that stock to accumulate now. But for trader, this stock don't oscillate above 1 naira 20 kobo, it start coming down. It can also be trading in that trend. But once you break out 150 on a good volume again, and we're not seeing a dividend, a growth in their dividend payout, I'm telling you that this stock will take you to places. The stock as we speak now, the sector they are operating is what people are looking at, utility sector, where they need to pay, and they are getting the money. But because this money is not coming direct to them, because most of them have to pass through the collection, they are generating like energy. I believe that with time, we'll see Transcorp being liquid, and that will turn the face of the company. For anybody taking long time on a Transcorp, I say you are in a good place. But for traders, make sure that when you are buying, once you sit around 115, 120, take your profit before you put back again. But the day you break out that 150, 120, 150 up again, that means a new trend has come for Transcorp.
Yeah. Mr. Ambrose, good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, Mr. Ambrose.
Good afternoon, sir. Mr. Charles. Yeah.
Yes. Please, can you quickly talk on the banking stocks like UBA and Fidelity and Sterling Bank?
Yes, I will
happening in that
start
sector?
from, I will start from the Sterling Bank. I think that one interests me most because we know that UBA and Zenith Bank are good enough to buy at any time. But Sterling Bank is doing something that is interesting, which I know most of us that are in this forum, they called me because they know the importance of volume. You know, Sterling Bank have kind of volume for good 3 days, almost 80, above 70 million for 3 days before it slowed down. And also, if you go back to 2020, around August, September again, there was a period that there was this 80 to Sterling Bank, and after that, they turned almost 70, 60% within that period before the end of the year, and that before it started pulling back. We are seeing something likely to happen in that stock, knowing that their Q3 result was not bad, and I tell you that as we speak, they are one of the banks that are operating two phases of banking. They are operating commercial bank, they are entering interest-free bank. You can see that if stock like what's it called, Jaiz, that is also on on interest-free banking is making way in terms of performance, and this bank now is combining the two. It's an insight that there's not going to happen in that company, in that bank. And you can see people already that think that volume are keen already, already keen into that volume. What is that something is about to happen? But people are accumulating already. Once there's a markup again, because this accumulation switch, see that when it touch 150, 155, it comes down to 150, 155, 157, it comes down. This stage is accumulation stage in that stock. Once a breakout this one was seen, there's another up rally that we're going to see in stock. Knowing that we are heading end of the year where we're expecting dividend, and also they are started paying dividend already. And don't forget that the shareholding structure of that company is two ties too, because of the presence of Indians and the two strong individual shareholders. For me, the share outside is not too much. That means we can take advantage of what we are saying now. This volume, we are good to go. For Fidelity and the UBA, I'll tell you, if the pullback in their price is a plus to buy them. And don't forget that this banking sector are the most consistent sector in terms of dividend payouts. Don't forget that as a trader, we look for dividend information that will drive price. Don't say because you're a trader, you are not interested in dividend. You are not going for dividend. We are not saying that I want to take dividend, but the dividend news that will support your price, and that is for good for traders. When the dividend news from market there to it, because you are put on earlier, you can now come out. You are not interested in the dividend, but dividend news will help you to make money. That's why those companies that that they are doing well, and it's a good to position ahead of their numbers, ahead of their dividends, so that when they announce it and market react to it, will be coming out. For me, UBA, Fidelity, and Sterling Bank are good stock to take position at any time. Okay. Any other question?
Yes, okay, Ambrose, thank you. MPF Microfinance Bank, do you have any latest information about the public offer and rights issue that they conducted some time ago? And what about the allotment, and when will the shares be listed? Thank you.
Yeah, for the date for the listing, I don't have it often here. But from the news I'm hearing that they say they had over subscription, even more than 100%. When it that means they have everything they needed. And for me, it's also a plus for them. Before a company will come for a right issue, they have made up their plan what they want to achieve. If they haven't what they need, it will be a plus going to the future. Like what you just said, once they list the additional shares, it might dilute the share for a while. But if what they are investing the money to what we are doing is going to also start yielding results, it might not have much impact. That's why when you are seeing a company that is going to do bonus for additional shares, always look at what the purpose. Is it for the business expansion? That if they expand and they are getting more business, they will easily kind of take control of that additional shares. But when you are giving 1-for-1 bonus and you are not doubling your performance with 100%, I'm telling you that share you have created will dilute your earnings, also going to affect your price going to the future. But for Police Microfinance, I see that company before now, they've been consistent dividend payment, and their performance has been before they come for the right issue, they have business to do with it, to do with the money, and also we have seen that even after the price has also rebounded. Let's see when they're going to list their additional shares, and what the result will look like going to the full year. If you are there for a long-term investor, fine. But if you trade that if you enter at around 170, now 195, 96, you can come out and wait again. You might not say because of their dividend. You can play between now and end of the year. At the same time, take advantage of the dividend. Yeah, there's no negative news on that stock. For that, we are waiting for their dates they will list. But they have 100% subscription for successful for their right issue.
Hey, Mr. Ambrose.
Yes, sir.
Nice work, sir.
Fine, thank you.
So, what is your take on all this hotel company like Transcorp Hotel, United Hotel, and Pleasure Hotel? Are they a good buy?
Okay. The hotels, before now, because of the COVID-19, all the hospitality sector were down. But with the help of vaccination, activity has come back to most of them. And I believe now we're seeing kind of recovery in terms of their performance and in terms of their price. But if you're a long-term investor, at this low price we're seeing them is where you should take position in them. Because the more they post better number, the more price will go up and the more people react to it. And now there's stability. Don't forget that during this seasonality period, that is where there is a kind of activities for them. But less insecurity in most of the parts of the country, they might not be. But those that are in a safe area, that people are still traveling, they will still be making money because now their business has only come back fully because air travel has have commenced. People are moving out to place now they can rent. But because when they had a COVID-19 like which their numbers for 2020 was 4, and most of them do not pay dividend. But now that we see that there's a recovery this year, less, but I'm not expecting a dividend that are tangible from them for now until they fully come out of their woe. For me, if you are there, fine, I would advise you come out first. Once you start seeing their better number, you can jump back to the store. Then waiting until they recover before you start earning money. If you're a long-term investor, for traders, you know that we trade momentum and sentiment. When you see momentum, they'll see the volume, they can jump in and come out. That's why, as a trader or investor or trader that combine the two, you don't wait for earnings alone. You look for volume, that sentiment, the pattern of people in that store will also help you to make money. But for those hotel related or hospitality related businesses, they are still coming down, but they are slowing in their recovery. For me, if you're a long-term investor that you can wait for, if not, you can come out, then later you come back when they are fully up. That's what I would advise.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Good morning, sir.
Hey, Morgan.
We can see some volume in flour mills. Please, can you tell us a little about flour mills?
Yes, I'm happy that you asked that. I was just want to ask that question. I'm happy for all of us in this class who are trying to see what give you that prompt your action. When you see volume of anything, ask question to see that is it a sell volume or a buy volume. For this question, I want to quickly call up that flour. I want to consider whether it's a buy volume or a sell volume before I go for that in answering your question. Just give me, let me call out the chart of flour. Hello. Hello.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, you can see this.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, this is a weekly chart for flour mill. I want to go back to a daily chart first so that you can get it. I'm happy that you have this. Okay. You see this chart on this is a daily chart of flour mill chart. And this daily chart, you can see from here to here that the average volume traded on this stock is low. It's not around the 3 million, 4 million, the average traded volume. But in the last 2 trading days, or 3 days, volume came back to the stock. The first one was this long volume here. You can see it here. It's a buy volume, a green one. The second one again is a buy volume, a green one. What does it tell you? There are things, something about to happen in this stock. That means if you are in this stock already, you need to hold on and watch very well. Also, if you look at this resistance level here, this one here, look at it, it's actually there, and put a pullback. But you can see that it has broken it out a little here. After touching here, it came down. But still now having almost a top here and here, which will also guide you that if this stock continues in this uptrend, it might go also places at the end of the day. And if you as an investor, this will prompt you that something is about to happen. Either it continues uptrend or it goes down. Like me, I wanted to jump into this stock yesterday. I called one of my colleagues to say, what this stock? We saw the volume first on Wednesday. On Thursday, it was flat. But yesterday, we saw about 16 million on it. After about 50 million on Wednesday. On Thursday, it remained flat. Nothing came out of it. Still below the normal you see here. But now that we're seeing 2 times, it's also pointing that now they are they're having an AGM meeting on the 17th, or on the 21st. I don't know one of the days, 17th or 21st ahead. But if there is something with the scholar is going to be important and going to be also impactful to the price, you can also keep this trend up on up direction. But this volume has given you an idea that something is happening in flour mill. And also, if you look down, let me look all this MACD for you. Now see MACD here. MACD has just crossed the blue line, the red one has crossed the blue one from down. And you see it's coming up again. This is a bullish sign for the stock. Say that something positive is about to happen in the stock. That means if you are in flour mill, I would advise you to hold your position. If you want to jump in at this price of 28 to 30, it's a good price for you to buy the stock, because I'm seeing that trend is returning back to the stock already. You can see, for me, it's a good one for the stock. But we want to go back and see the morning flow or the weekly. Let me look at the weekly chart first before I go to the morning flow. Yes, on the weekly chart, you can even confirm that, yes, you can see that this volume that came here is coming, at a good time. After the stock has trended from year to year, you can see that the stock has remained at this point. Let me draw it for you. On a weekly chart, it has remained within this period for a long period of time. You can see that it has been here, up and down, around this point, you can see. But a breakout on a weekly chart any moment from now will also trigger a good movement. After seeing this high volume here on a buy volume, tells you that something is about to happen. For quick one, let's look at the morning flow of flour mill to see whether it is positive or not. Look at morning flow for the stock as at on a weekly chart. You can see that it has gone down, but now rebounding, and it has crossed 50 points. And I told you that we are seeing morning flow, looking up, crossing 50, says that funds are really coming to that stock. And if one continues, it will go as high as 70, and that will move the price up. Now we are seeing a positive money flow, a positive MACD. All these are momentum indicators that are telling you that something is about to happen in the stock. All you do, if you are not there, you buy it. And hopefully for us, it's among the stock I have even bent down for today. For those in this question and answer, I have tele stock for us, but I know when we finish, I will just leave those tele stocks so that you can go and take position for the new week. Yeah, it's a good one, sir. Thank you for that question.
Hello, Mr. Ambrose.
Yes, sir.
I think to buttress flour mills, the last result of Northern Flour Mills, after their half year, they declared interim dividend. I think maybe they too, they want to follow suit. Maybe that is what caused maybe they are about to declare interim dividend, because it happens at Northern Flour Mills. Northern Flour Mills, Nigerian Northern Flour will pay the interim dividend. They are this way. So my take is that maybe it's going to happen at flour mills too.
Okay, it can still be same just like expectation, because in their notification, they didn't mention it there. If you are really going to pay, you can mention it in their notification. Just like what WAPCO did, that they are likely to pay the dividend. That's why even the same thing Presco did. If they are likely to pay the dividend, they would have made it known in that.
Hello.
Hello.
Good afternoon, Mr. Omordion.
Yeah, good afternoon, sir.
Yes, I had a feeling, leaping on the last speaker, that Northern Nigeria paying interim dividend it could be an indication that there could be a merger of NNFM with flour mills altogether.
Okay. Okay.
Or some other things like that. Because there's no hurry for them to pay interim dividend.
I think Northern Flour Mill is a subsidiary of
yes, they might want to merge it. They might want
flour
to
mill.
Okay.
So the declaration of dividend by Northern Flour Mill will feed into the bottom line of the parent company.
Okay.
So if Northern Flour Mill is doing well, that's good for you to be in the parent company, because all of that interim dividend is still going back to flour mill as the holding company. I would like to say that what's happening in flour mill is as a result of the performance of Dangote Sugar, which was not too impressive. people have rated Dangote Sugar very high, but from the result that Dangote Sugar released, people are likely to offload and move to flour mill. And you know, flour mill is acquired some land in Nasarawa State, fully 100% backward integration. So it's a stock to be. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for that insight. And also, like the rumor I've said in the market that this one they want to acquire, and also from Benyan, by hearing that they are also meeting in regards to many of their acquisitions. Likewise, what people have said, you know, we do them out. They are almost concurrent with what is here. We are hearing in the market, you know, why they are doing the board meeting. Like they want to put it down and put all this, and they made the public, let the public know where they stand. And if that happens, that may be a place for us to start taking position. And they're just like they were seeing a fundamental thing. But technically, I have given me sign that the stock is going to do well. But as at 2 days, the stock is still not here and there. But now, after that volume, there's a sign that I've seen that the stock might likely go up. That's why I said it's one of the stocks that have been personal down for this week. We're entering a buy position. Let's see how it goes. Yeah. Before the
Lawrence, yeah, I have a comment on flour mills.
Oh, yeah,
this
ahead.
Is Lawrence. I have a comment on flour mills.
Okay.
If you are in our forum, on our WhatsApp channel, there is this report that the rugged prof normally shared at every midday.
Yes.
Right? So the last I saw on Friday, he said there was a cross deal from that rugged man's rugged prof's report. There was a cross deal on flour mill at 31 naira for 16 million block deal. A block deal, which was a cross deal at 31 naira. That is why when you look at that chart that Ambrose displayed, you will see that, yeah, it was that 16 million was almost at 31 naira before it now declines to around 30 or less than 30. So there was a block deal, and it's obvious that 80 million too was likely another block deal. So it's like something is going on the other end.
Yes. Additionally, sir.
I agree with you. Yeah. Go ahead.
Additionally, the Meristem and FSG Securities put a target price of 40 to flour mills in their different reports.
Okay. Okay, that's a kind of a consensus. Okay.
All this one that the federal government ban importation of wheat. I think they have just been brandishing something about the banning of importation of wheat and all those stuff.
Okay.
It will increase the bottom line.
Okay. That's nice. That's nice. Thank you. Thank you.
And lastly, from my own side, there is a report from the World Bank and the Food and Agriculture Organization that Nigeria is sliding into a famine stage. Nigeria is going to enter into famine by December. So, sir?
Go ahead. I will tell you. Go ahead.
So what does that tell you about the food company?
Yeah.
It means that food company is going to play a great role. They are going to sell like no man business at their own price. And this situation, when I got that report, I was a little bit skeptic. But one or two, the president is now declaring Operation Feed Yourself.
Okay, that's good.
So which means
that him defeat us before. Now him defeat us before.
No, they are trying to make sure that everybody have a small backyard agriculture as the national policy.
Okay. Well, we need the security to go to. Let them give us security first.
Please, you say you will find out about Presco and SEAT. What's the update?
Yes. Thank you for that question. I like my people. Yes, for what I have done, I have seen that the Norway major shareholder in Presco, they are called Fiat, also have another Fiat Nigeria that's in Port Harcourt. That's also doing similar thing Presco is doing. And now, those who that reported that this year they are coming to profitability, but they want to hand over their own operation there to Presco. That's why they want to, like, whether Presco is going to pay additional share or they're going to pay through their reserve. That's what we don't know for now. But this another Fiat in Nigeria that is being managed by a Fiat in Norway that owns 60% or 30% of Presco. They are breaking the operation here to join the one in a Presco here. That is it. It's a good one because this same Presco also is trying to expand their kind of their capacity. That's why they are trying also to acquire the people. If that is what they are doing, there is a good prospect for Presco. Knowing that Nigeria now is purely on agriculture, that's the way we are. I see a lot of potential in Presco. Coming together with that one, they are bringing the Fiat in River State, coming to join Presco here in Benin and other states. It will make Presco more, to get more share in the market, and that also promote Presco bottom line at the end of the day. Because the Fiat in River State, I said, this year they are crossing to profitability. They are breaking even. Let me use that language. As they are breaking even, the parent country want to handle that one in Nigeria to Presco to further expand Presco capacity. For me, it's a plus for them. But like what I just said, whether they're going to create additional share to absorb them, or they're going to pay for the reserve they have to take that into their business, that's what we don't know for now until they make it open for us. Yeah.
From what you are saying, what is going to, they are going to transfer their shareholding to Presco.
Exactly.
So if they do transfer their shareholding to Presco, Presco will be bigger, but Fiat will have more
shares,
more shares and
more shares,
over enlarged Presco.
Yeah. Yes.
I learned that Fiat has not been making profit for some time. It's a loss-making company.
Hello?
How does that help Presco?
They said they are breaking even in their, I've seen their projection, they are breaking even this year. Once they break even, that means before, when you are planting, because they're also planting, and then you are not making, but now they are breaking even. That's why they're handing over. And we want to see how Presco we're going to absorb it. It's not we to say here. They understand their business, the Presco board. Those when Fatah said they are breaking even here. That means they undergo their business to this level, that they are breaking even before they hand over to Presco. That is why it's until let's see what will play out in that place. But I believe that because Presco is kind of creating expansion, they are no kind of expanding, capacity. I think it's going to pay them in the nearest future. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. On this note, we'll quickly look at our stock picks for the day before we draw the curtain. Our time is I spent. Let's look at the stock for this week so that we can draw the curtain for the day. The first stock for this week. Okay. Hello, go ahead.
Please, what is your take on ICO insurance, sir?
Okay. For me, for ICO, yes, there's a little rally from ICO in terms of because of the bonus of is it 12.9? I don't know they give a market react to it. It's good for the bonus news. I believe that traders that are smart have cashed away their profit from that stock. But the number released for third quarter for Presco is not good. And Presco have sold their backbone, let me use that language, which is their Presco pension to FCMB. Yeah?
ICO or Presco?
It's ICO.
ICO, I'm talking about ICO, yeah. I said ICO, yeah. They have sold their pension and put the backbone of that ICO insurance to FCMB. And now they are creating additional shares for themselves, and that will further dilute their number. You saw what happened to what's it called, Mansard before they do their share reconstruction. They must also be doing the same thing, and that will keep their price not down for a long time if they go the way of Mansard. But for me, I would advise that if you are in Apple by now, just sell off and come out, because I don't see something interesting that because the main source of your income have been sold out as No, to raise money for the group. If you're an ICO, our advice will be.
Hello, Ambrose.
Yeah.
You know, we discussed about USCN last week.
Okay.
And, you know, although some of us have jumped out one way or the other, but the price is increasing.
The price is increasing. That is market forces. That one should not bother you. If you have sold your own, you don't leave it, but it will still come down.
I'm just looking at it, maybe the bonus UP credits, maybe they change gear. The UP DC credit, the rate that they want to give to UP DC holders.
Okay.
Have they changed their
plan? The qualification date was on the 8th, and that was on Monday last week now. That's the qualification date there.
Yes.
And I don't know whether they made the transfer. I'm not, because I don't have the stock. I will confirm.
I've not seen anything in my this anyway.
I will confirm. Yeah.
Hello.
I will confirm.
Yeah. I should confirm.
I say I will also confirm. I will ask whether they have done it, whether they have crossed it. I will find out.
Okay. And you don't.
Hello. Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah. What is actually happening on USC is that USC is also planning to raise money, and they don't want the share price to come down.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Hello. No, raising money.
No, and yes, and they're actually kind of managing the share price. So that's what happened. Ordinarily, their price is supposed to have come down after the raise.
Okay. Like you just said, if they want to refund, want to know the purpose and why they want to refund, what that would be the attraction.
It's not that they are coming to the capital market to raise money. I think either they are trying to do it through bond or whatever.
Okay.
So that's the information I got.
Okay. Okay. If they're true bond, that means they have seen another business that will support their bottom line. They want to go in. One thing that if you are going to bond is cheaper for them. They know that they are not paying much to service, then they can go there. But let's see what they want to do first. But for me, if you have exited UACN, just watch to see the trend. A breakout first before you go. 12 have been the kind of a strong resistance for that stock. Once you break it out, before cannot think of another dimension. Now just watch and see where it's going. That is what.
Okay. Thank you.
Sorry, Ambrose.
Yeah. Okay.
Ambrose.
Yeah, I'm with you, sir.
I don't know whether you talk about UBA and Access.
Yes, we have to discuss UBA and Fidelity. For me, Access is not a bad one. Access is still okay. If you look at Access, is still strong. The strong, like a 5 days full run of Access. Even the comment down for like 4 days has not broken down that record. It has not recovered. It has not covered that long stick. Let me quickly show you something in Access now. So that you have at the back of your mind. Let me quickly call Access laptop. Just hold on. Let me just call out Access.
Sir, move the people now. Move them now, please.
Hello, I'm coming. Wait,
Papa D, please keep quiet.
I've muted my phone.
Sir, move these people now, please.
I'm coming.
Papa D, mute your system now.
I've muted it. Oh, I've muted my system.
You are still talking. Mute yourself.
Okay.
Okay, are we there? Yeah. Hello?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Yes, we can see your chart.
Okay, you can see the chart. The question I asked on access, is that access on a daily chart is still resisting a decline. After this long candlestick here, you can see that all the pullbacks have not covered this long bullish candle here on a daily chart. You can see it here that even touch here lower here, it came back up and closed. That means access is just from profit taking activities. It's not that there's a major trend of change in access, because the major bullish run is this candle here. The coming down here has not even covered up the uptrend here. That means please for daily chart. Let me quickly take you to a weekly chart to see the position of assets. You can see assets on them. You can see that the uptrend there is still there. When you take a line, let me draw this line that has not broken down the uptrend that we are seeing in the stock. You can see once you break down before fear will come, you can see that it has not broken down the uptrend. Once you break it down, but now for assets, I see that we can still be watching. There's no cause for alarm unless tomorrow. But don't forget that assets has a major strong support level at 9 naira and 905. Once you get there, I know that you can see that this is what assets is doing for a long time. Once you break this one down, that is where fear will come in assets. You can see that for this period, this is the word. Let me draw this so that you know understand what I'm saying. From here, see, this is the major support level for assets. That you have trended for this level before it went up here, doing it here again. But until you break down this uptrend, this is an uptrend and uptrend line we have done here. Once you break down before there's fear, for me, assets is a place that if you are there, don't just panic, just watch, just watch. Because I'm saying, I expect that once we start entering the market very soon, it might change the face of equity market for us. Yeah, you can see that this red here, you can see this for 4 days is some profit taken in assets. You can see the volume down here I've shown you. But these are small volume too. You can see that's not broken down. Watch this chart here. You can see that assets is not doing badly here. General market condition is part of what is making assets to behave this pattern. But I believe once liquidity comes to the market and start positioning for the end of the year, assets and other banking stocks like Zenith Bank, UBA, Fidelity, all of them are likely to look up because they are consistent in their dividend. They are what every investor wants to partake in it. And those PFAs, like they are coming back, that kind of stuff they'll be looking at. Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Hello.
Please, we have been watching closely the activities of Wema Bank. Wema Bank, I don't know, what will you recommend as entry price?
Last time I discussed Wema Bank that we enter for trading. I think the buy range there was 80 kobo. It was 78 kobo to 85 kobo was the buy rate. Then to exit around 1 naira and 198. That is the exit rate. But if you are there, but always play that stock with the way it's going. Don't relax too much there because all those penny stocks, despite the banking stock, one has to be very careful in those penny stock. But now there's momentum in the stock, you can take advantage of that momentum. The earnings is not looking bad, performance from there is not bad. But we need something that will go beyond the earnings that thanks to this momentum we're seeing, the sustain volumes are coming out, then you can now know that a place to play short term. But for long term, their dividend might not be too attractive. But you have to be very careful when you are playing all these small cap stuff.
Okay.
Hello. Hello.
Hello?
Hello.
Yeah.
Adova. Let's check Adova. I can see rally is coming there in no time.
Yeah, Adova, as you just mentioned, I saw that rally, but all the technical indicators are not supporting that rally. They are so the money flow in that stock is very low. And you see also the volume and also look at other indicators. They are not terms of buy volume. You can see that like buy volume 100%. Fine, it's okay, encouraging, but other indicators are not supporting that rally. And don't forget that the acute rate was not too fantastic. But for me, let's confirm a positive technicals before we can jump in that stock. Yes, there's a sign that it don't make that it does raise up like 2 days ago, but on Friday it was flat. I mean, it pulled down. Just watch the stock. Don't jump in there. If you are there, watch to see whether you cut loss, but never jump out. If you are entering and never enter, just watch exactly where it's going before you can jump in.
Thank you.
UCAP is profit taking making it to from UCAP.
UCAP, I would say that UCAP is a stock that oscillates, and if you are a good technical technician, you can make money in UCAP even on daily basis. This is a stock that touched 9 naira and came as low as what? As 9 naira. That means if you are entered naira, even when you touch at 980, you can easily come out. For now, it's operating. But don't forget that it's one of the best dividend paying stocks in the market. Once they start positioning for dividend, the stock will rally. That's why I'm telling you that if the stock can pay anything 90 kobo to 1 naira at the end of their financial year, the price will touch 13 naira, even 14 with ease. For investors that are looking for dividend, stay there. But for traders, can watch this oscillation to take advantage. UCAP is a stock that has good, strong pattern in terms of technical and fundamental is okay. And what we're looking at, volume is also coming that kind of stuff. That means this oscillation is taking an opportunity to buy low and sell high, which is good. I know this is what Vitacom did when he was also bringing good numbers and price was going up and down before continue uptrend again. If you are seeing such oscillation in UCAP, it's an opportunity for you to buy low and sell high, but you need to be in that stock. If you're a dividend income investor, if you're a trader, that's to be in that stock because the stock, once the analysis results and once the funds start coming back to the market, I will tell you, because consistently for 5 years they have paid dividend to be one of the attractions for PFEs. And when PFEs are entering stock, they are like institutional investors to see volume, and that will also support the price of UCAP.
Okay. Ambrose, any information on Vitafilm?
Vitafilm, no, they are released their unaudited full year for October, that came October. It tells you that from their earnings, we're expecting a good dividend from them. Yeah. If their policy will allow them to pay more than 1 naira, but the earning per share is strong to support even 150. But their last dividend was 72 kobo. And I believe that the numbers they have, and they should pay more than even the 1 naira, 120. But we don't know. That's why, as an investor, if you have made money there, that dividend should not be what to be there. You can set down some part of your position and take dividend after the result. If the dividend is not too good, but the number remains strong and it comes down because of the dividend use, you cannot enter. So that when they read out first quarter again, and they bounce back already in the morning, because I don't think they're going to pay 150 immediately from 75 people. We have to also look at that. Okay.
So the plan is that we're going to tell people that we are getting married, and then we now wait, pause.
Oh, wow.
Okay, on this note, we're drawing the continue. Before drawing the continue, let's look at the stocks we're positioning for this week. Yes, we're looking at one is a UBA. UBA is our stock for this week. If you are there, you'll be already ready to take position. If you are there, you want to kind of accumulate, fine. But UBA is number one there, followed by Flower Mill Nigeria. Are you there? We are seeing an opportunity again in Mansard, but that Mansard Wapi, which is coronation now, and veterans, these are the insurance stocks that I'm seeing opportunity technically. But I believe because of the strength of Mansard and the technical position, we can take Mansard. Mansard, that means we're having a UBA, Flower Mill, and Mansard. Yeah, there's sign of technical sign for GTB, but we have to watch GTB well. GTB price now, for me, technically, it's looking attractive. We need to watch because other indicators have not confirmed, but one indicator have given me sign for GTB. Let other indicators confirm it. But for now, we're taking this steady position. UBA, Mansard, and the Flower Mill Nigeria. This is where we're looking at this week. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ambrose.
Last time I said about people that paid money for the Investor technical toolbox. They've not sent their email address so that we can forward their pack for them. Please, if you're one of them in the house, please send your detail. My colleague was telling me that 2 people have not sent their name. If you are among them, please. Then because we only see your payment, your name is not showing the payment so that you can take advantage and let us say that you can also be putting yourself before the end of the year. And also those that have not paid for Invest 2020, as I said earlier, we'll launch it officially by Monday. For those that have paid, I appreciate you. For those that have not paid, so that you can take advantage. For those in this house, instead of 30,000, we'll say that you are paying 25K, so that you know, instead of 30K, those in the house will pay 25. But those that are not in this house, that are not Q&A member, we're going to pay the 30K. But for those in this house, you are going to enjoy the 5,000 naira discount for being part of Invest Data. Thank you, and God bless you all. Yeah.
Thank you very much. God bless.
Thank you.
Thank you. Quick one before we go, let a Muslim brother pray for us before we round up the class finally.
Thank you, Mr. Ambrose. Thank you, Mr. Ambrose.
Yes. Let's a Muslim brother.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Ar-Rahmanir Rahim. Maliki Yawmiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Ihdina siratal mustaqim. Siratal ladzina an'amta alayhim. Ghayril maghdubi alayhim waladdallin. Ya Allah, have mercy on us as we navigate and play the stock market. Let us buy right and sell right, and let us be able to come back and appreciate Mr. Ambrose. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Enjoy your weekend. Thank you. I mean, thank you. Thank you all. Yes.
Thank you, sir.
Well done.
Thank you.
Which one? Which one?
My E certificate.
Okay, you get it. You get it. No problem. I beg for those that
Thank you,
for the orphanage. Yeah, thank you, man. Let's try and make
Thank
up.
you,
Let's pay up. Let's pay up. Yes. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ambrose.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, man. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank
you, sir. Thank you, Ambrose.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Ambrose.
Yeah, thank you, sir. God bless you, sir. Yeah.